Hey Brahmas, this is Mari, one of your full-time librarians. I hope you have been enjoying all the videos as part of this tutorial toolkit. And this last video is going to focus on three finding tools that I want to showcase for Plant Science 103. We're on the library front page, and if you can recall, we can easily open up all of our list of databases with databases A through Z on the left-hand side. And once you get that page, we have 60 something databases, and you might be inclined to only look for the ones related to plant science. But in the subjects category, we only really have agriculture, which would apply, or life sciences. But don't stress out too much about those categories because they're arbitrary. The librarians created them. But if you do agriculture, for example, you can see the best databases recommended for that type of research in that field. And in this video, I want to showcase quickly Science Direct and Wiley Online Library. So we're going to be looking into these two specific databases. And for example, this is Science Direct, and I had already done a search. But once you click on our databases from the library's website, as you might know, you just have to enter your student ID number as the login for the username, and the passcode is your birthday without the year, your month and date of birth. So this is Science Direct, and we had found Science Direct in the list of databases, and I had selected agriculture. But like I said, you could have also maybe chosen life sciences, and Wiley is still here and Science Direct is still here. So it's always good to talk to librarians because then we can give you some tips or shortcuts, right? And then the other one that I want to showcase is Wiley, and I've opened it, and this is the front page of Wiley Online. And if you recall the other videos, all of these databases should be searchable through one search, which is on the library's front page. And here we can also try to search for academic journals, but we want to start with Science Direct just to show you its potential, because it specializes right in collections of journals that are very science driven. So we're going to say soil, pH, fungi, and I'm just starting with basic keywords. At some point you are going to encounter keywords that are more specific, or maybe you realized, oh, I only really need these two keywords or this combination of 4 keywords. So this is part of the research process, looking at the results just as a warm-up, and try to select the keywords that are specifically about the concepts that you're researching. Now, I was not an English major, so I'm just going to keep it simple for now and show you more the mechanics of this database. So I entered 3 keywords, 55,000 results. What you really should focus in this database is the fact that you can select article types under 2 categories, primarily review articles and research articles. I would recommend to start with review articles if you're using this database, because review articles are reviewing already a lot of the research that might be out there. So it's a type of literature review in the sense that it's summarizing all these findings. And the research articles are probably going to be more research driven with original research and special studies, or but those are the articles, the research articles, in which you will find those sections that have methodology or methods, because they're conducting original research. So that is the main key difference. But in this database, I feel like it's a little bit easier if you use either of those 2 filters, review articles or research databases. Now, I still have 5,000 results after I clicked on review articles, right? So we want to be efficient with our time. So maybe I would click on the publication years and just stick to the last 5 or 10 at the most. And I can start by just clicking on 2021, all the sources published in that year, and then you would be getting the latest research for those particular keywords, right? But the keywords really hold the power, so don't be afraid to go back to the search bar and play with the combinations of the keywords that you might be encountering. So let's say that I was intrigued by, I don't know, impacts of wildfire on soil microbiome. So this is a scholarly article, right, from a peer-reviewed journal. It's coming from after I clicked on review articles, right? So it's not going to have a methodology or method section, but it is going to be summarizing a lot of research or making some type of claim. But in this database, they don't really have a quick button by which you can email yourself the source with the citation. So that is one of the drawbacks of this particular database, that even when you click on the share button and you click on the email, I think they just send you a link to the actual article. So if you really like the article in this database, I personally just download the PDF. And then if you click on cite, they don't really give you a specific MLA style citation or an APA style citation. So you do kind of have to create your citation if you got the article from here. But if you were to say copy the title of this article that should hypothetically be found in OneSearch, we can go to OneSearch, type the paste the I guess I didn't copy it at all. Control C and then Control V. So let's say, okay, is this article findable through OneSearch? It should be, because Science Direct is one of the databases that OneSearch is sifting through. But the reason why I'm showing you this is because with OneSearch you can easily get the citation in MLA or APA for the particular source. And while that loads, let's go back and finish this up. I mean, at this point, unless you really wanted to read the article, you can also review the recommended articles on the right-hand side. But like I said, it's about playing with the keywords. So this is just one database. Let's try this the similar thing with Wiley. So I'm going to do soil, pH, fungi. Again, 3 simple separate keywords, because we're starting our research, so we're still collecting terminology. And Wiley, I've noticed, they don't have a filter for review or research articles, but you easily start seeing the journals category on the left hand side. So you do want to click on that journals filter, because with Wiley, unless you're open to the books, I feel like we can look at the books and ebooks better in OneSearch. So for Wiley, I would just try to look at journal articles. So I activated that filter, and in Wiley you could be more specific about your years. So I can go in the publication filter and just say the last 10 years, right? So 2010 to 2021. What's going on here? Well, that's strange. Okay, so yeah, with the sciences, professors usually just say the last 10 years of research publications. So that is one way to filter all of the articles that you could potentially get if you use too few keywords, or keywords that are very general and everybody uses them. So now I know that I'm only looking at journal articles published from 2010 and onward. So this might feel like the list is more relevant because it's already been sorted right by the Wiley algorithm. And so sometimes these databases, the algorithms are different in terms of how they function. So it's useful to play with different databases and their different algorithms because they're different companies. But in Wiley, they have this subject section for filters. And if you are being overwhelmed by the number of articles, you could easily just click on agriculture if you know that your topic is more related to that field, or maybe you want to do something more specific, right? Like biomedical engineering, I don't know. And that's pretty much it. So you would, you see research article, research paper. For the most part, they're all coming from peer-reviewed journals, so they're all academic in nature. The original articles, I imagine, have original research, but since they're all peer-reviewed and as you can see, we can easily download the PDF, and if we wanted to email it to ourselves, we could. But once again, I feel like if you really like the article, you should just download the PDF from these particular databases and probably get the citation from OneSearch, because they don't have a function by which they can easily give you a MLA citation or an APA citation. So for example, remember when I had searched for that article in OneSearch? So here it is, right? Since I just copied and pasted the title, and I don't even have to click on the article itself, because on the right hand side, I could easily email it to myself, or I can also click on those more actions and then citation. So OneSearch does kind of aggregate and generate a citation from the metadata. So you could choose the APA 7th edition or the MLA 8th style citation. Just stick to one, right? So if you email yourself an article that you know you're going to use, make sure that that email also contains the citation. That way you don't have to track it and find it again when you're putting together your paper or your references page. So if we go back to the Wiley one, yeah, I mean, you would just have to read them, right? And see here it's materials and methods. So you can kind of infer the methodology. And then of course there's going to be our results. So this already tells me that this is a research type of article, more of an primary source or original research, as opposed to the review articles that we were able to filter for with Science Direct. Now, if we go back to OneSearch, which, if you recall, it's from the library's homepage, I just entered that title, right? But of course, it's picking up on those keywords and it's trying to show me other sources that are relevant to those keywords. So I didn't get a lot of results because maybe my keywords are too specific. So if we try something more general, soil, pH, fungi, bacteria, let's try that. So OneSearch works similarly like our other databases. On the left-hand side, there are tools or filters to limit the number of sources that you might encounter. But since we're sticking primarily to peer-reviewed sources from academic journals, in OneSearch you would still, I imagine, want to filter, in this case, by scholarly journals. So that's the little box that you would activate and apply the filter in the bottom left-hand corner, because there was a lot of sources, in the results. I don't know if you saw, but now I know, okay, I'm only looking at peer-reviewed articles from scholarly journals. And similarly, if you find an article that seems interesting to you, if you click on it, it's going to show you the record that OneSearch has for that source, but it's also going to show you the database that's hosting that particular source, because the full text is not within OneSearch, because OneSearch is not a database, it's more of a search engine. So you'll find full text availability under Wiley Online, and so this is the database that's hosting this article. So coincidentally, if I click on Elsevier SD College Edition, it's gonna open up another peers database, And right now it connected me to it because I had already put in my login. But as you can see, it's Science Direct. And even though it didn't say Science Direct, well, it says SD, right? But Elsevier is the company that created Elsevier. So now I can see the full text of that article right here because it opened up such database that was hosting this article. And this is the only database that's hosting that particular article. And yeah, for the most part, that's it. There are some of you who might want to use a academic book, which is also a great source. You know, that would be a good secondary source that's still academic. So I'm gonna take out the scholarly journals filter, because let's say that I did want to look at the ebooks that you have access to as a peer student. So from my keywords, I haven't selected any filters, but if I go under resource type right below scholarly journals, I could easily just click on books and or book chapters and apply those filters so that you can see what the Pearce library has in terms of academic books that contain those keywords. So in this case, let's see, right, the 27 results, that's not that much. And then we're gonna see both print and online books. The ebooks, you can identify them by the green hyperlink that says available online. But if you see books that say available at LA Mission College, then that's probably a print book. And then the book chapters can also be useful, and it's just a chapter, right, that's hosted in one type of database or journal. So, and then you might find some encyclopedias, right? But maybe at some point you need something a little bit more broad as opposed to research driven, like a scholarly article, so that you can talk more confidently about your topic. So I don't know, I'm just gonna click on this ebook or chapter, fungal technology, biotechnology in space. So it's supposed to be a chapter from a book. The database, it's down here. That's the database that's supposed to have the full text of that chapter. So hopefully it's gonna pull it up. It did pull it up. This one seems to be like an open source book or chapter. So it's not necessarily coming from one of our databases, but okay, let me close this. But yeah, that's how you can find stuff. And like I said, you can easily get the citations from one search, and you can email yourself sources. So if you have any more questions, please come to the library's homepage and start a chat. You can do that literally 24/7, or you can schedule a research appointment for a video call with one of our librarians who should be able to help you. And best of luck with your research. I hope you have fun with it.